If you've ever opened up to a woman thinking it would bring you closer, only to watch her grow distant, colder, less attracted, you need to hear this. Because what you thought was honesty was actually the slow death of her desire. In this video, I'm breaking down 5 secrets you must never tell a woman if you want her to respect you, admire you, and stay attracted. Comment, never again, if you're ready to stop making these silent mistakes. Number 1, never share your insecurities. The moment you sit across from a woman and let your deepest insecurities roll off your tongue, you don't just expose your soul. You voluntarily tear down the very image of strength, stability, and leadership she subconsciously needs you to embody. You might feel lighter for a moment, thinking you've created intimacy by being vulnerable, but all you've done is shift the emotional burden onto her shoulders, and that weight makes her question your ability to protect, provide, and lead, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically. Women are not built to be emotional crutches for men. They are biologically drawn to men who are grounded, composed, and capable of absorbing life's chaos without falling apart. When you speak your fear of failure, your imposter syndrome, or the voice inside your head that whispers you're not good enough, you sabotage the pedestal she instinctively places you on. It's not because she's cold. It's because attraction isn't built on pity. It's built on admiration. You believe you're building trust, but what you're actually building is doubt. Every time she sees you hesitate, second-guess yourself, or spiral, she remembers the cracks you showed her, and those cracks become more vivid with every test life throws at your relationship. In those moments, she won't remember your good intentions. She'll remember your emotional unraveling. You have to understand, she doesn't want to be your therapist. She wants to feel safe in your frame. She wants to feel your emotional sovereignty, your ability to sit with demons and still act like a king. You heal your insecurities in private, not in her presence. You take them to your journal, to your mentor, or to the gym. You sweat them out. You fight them in the dark and emerge in the light composed, controlled, and focused. You do not give her your wounds to nurture, because when you do, she becomes your mother, not your lover. And no woman wants to sleep with the boy she's raising. The solution isn't to fake perfection, it's to practice Stoic discipline. Embrace the chaos in silence. Master your internal world so thoroughly that you radiate stability, even when the world is burning around you. That presence, that quiet strength, is what magnetizes her, not your sob story. If you're serious about changing your life, learn this now. You're not emotionally suppressing to be macho. You're mastering your mind to be unshakable. Because no woman can respect a man who makes her feel like she's the stronger one emotionally. Never tell her your insecurities, not because you don't have them, but because true masculine power is the ability to carry them with silent conviction. Do that, and watch how differently the world, especially women, responds to you. Because when your words are rare, your value multiplies. And when your decisions come without apology, your life begins to align with your highest version. If this hits something deep in you, if you're tired of second-guessing yourself, tired of feeling disrespected, misunderstood, or emotionally outmaneuvered, then I need you to go to the comments right now and get the Stoic Relationship Blueprint. It's not just a book, it's the exact framework you've never been taught. The playbook for masculine control, power, and peace in modern relationships. You'll never have to search YouTube at 2 a.m. again. This is yours forever. Download it once, keep it for life. Access it whenever you need to recalibrate your frame or remember who you are. Click the link, own the blueprint, and take back the power you gave away. Number 2, don't reveal your sexual history. It's late at night, you're lying beside her, and the question comes up, How many women have you been with? She may ask it playfully, out of curiosity, or even during an intense emotional moment when things seem perfect. But make no mistake, this is a test, not a heart-to-heart. It's a psychological landmine masked as pillow talk. If your number is high, she'll laugh in the moment, but that laugh hides judgment. She'll start projecting, imagining every woman you were with, comparing herself silently. She'll doubt your loyalty, your ability to commit, your capacity for real connection. Her subconscious whispers, if he's been with that many women, why would he settle for me? If the number is low, she may smile, act impressed, but something in her instincts will interpret it as a lack of experience or social proof. She'll wonder if other women even wanted you, and that question alone devalues your sexual market worth. Whether you were a saint or a savage, the truth damages your frame. She doesn't want data. She wants to feel something. She wants mystery. A man's past is only powerful when it's hinted at, never revealed. Your aura must speak of experience without offering receipts. You must carry the energy of a man who knows what he wants, not because of quantity, but clarity. The man who says, I've had enough to know what I won't tolerate, gives her nothing to attack and everything to respect. He keeps the upper hand. Because here's the reality. The more you reveal, the more you shrink. Women are wired for emotional survival. They're constantly calculating risk, dominance, and potential outcomes. And when you hand her every detail, you give her the ammo to subconsciously evaluate you, downgrade you, and lose interest. This isn't about lying. It's about controlling the narrative. She doesn't deserve the blueprint to your soul until she's proven she won't weaponize it. And let's be brutally honest. Most women today don't protect a man's vulnerability. They judge it, even if it's unspoken. You see it every day in relationships that start sweet and end with brutal emasculation, because men forget that oversharing turns kings into peasants in the eyes of women. Don't give her what she doesn't need. Give her presence, direction, a quiet confidence. Your past isn't her business, unless you want it used against you. The man who speaks less wins more. The man who guards his past owns his future. So next time she leans in and says, be honest with me, how many? Remember, the most powerful answer is the one that leaves her thinking, not knowing. Never reveal your sexual history, not because you're ashamed, but because your strength is built on what you don't say. Number 3, don't disclose your income. Every man, at some point, buys into the lie that money is his greatest weapon in the dating game, that if he can just hit a certain figure, flash the right car, mention the right deal, or throw out a number in casual conversation, he'll finally win the respect, desire, and commitment of the woman he wants. But what nobody tells him is that the moment he opens his mouth about how much he earns, whether it's $40,000 or $400,000, he immediately loses leverage, mystery, and most importantly, frame, because what she wants is to feel power, not hear about it. And the second you itemize your value in dollars, you shrink yourself into a spreadsheet instead of a man with presence, vision, and direction. And here's the harsh truth. When you tell her you don't make much, she'll never say it to your face. But the attraction starts to wane, because no matter how understanding she claims to be, her primal instincts kick in and start painting you as a man she'll need to carry, not follow. And when you tell her you make a lot, she might smile, she might even be impressed. But underneath the surface, she begins to calculate, she adjusts her expectations, and soon you'll find yourself being measured by your wallet more than your character, being resented for the gifts she silently expected but didn't receive, being silently mocked for how little you gave, despite how much you claimed to make. And the relationship, once rooted in desire, now becomes a negotiation table where your worth is constantly reappraised, based on the zeros in your account. And most men don't realize they're doing this because society tells them to be honest, to lead with transparency, to show their provider value like some twisted financial resume. But the moment you reveal the details of your finances, you open the floodgates to being judged, not as a man, but as a means, not as a leader, but as a lifestyle, not as a partner, but as a provider. And the emotional polarity between you and her begins to erode, because now she's not leaning into your masculine essence. She's auditing your status, evaluating your output, and slowly turning your identity into a utility. And you feel it. You feel the shift in how she talks to you, how she reacts when you say no, how she stares when the bill comes and you don't offer to cover her $9 oat milk latte that she forgot to mention she ordered. And you wonder why things feel colder, why the dynamic is heavier, why the respect fades every time you say, "I got you financially." And it's because you trained her to see you not as a man, but as a bank account with legs. And look, I'm not saying don't be generous. I'm saying be deliberate. I'm not saying money doesn't matter. I'm saying it only matters if she respects who you are without it. You want real power. Make her feel like she's with a man who could have it all, but doesn't need to prove it to her. You want to keep your masculine edge. Let your lifestyle show ambition, not your mouth. You want to protect your value. Let her guess. Let her wonder. Let her feel secure, not because of your financial statements, but because of your direction, your work ethic, your unshakable control of your future. You never tell her exactly how much you make, not because you're hiding, but because you're leading. Not because you're playing games, but because you refuse to let your worth be reduced to numbers. The moment you say, "I make 6 figures," you invite comparison, expectation, and entitlement. But when you keep that detail in your vault and instead radiate confidence, composure, and command of your life, you remain untouchable, because the truth is, a man's power isn't in how much he earns, it's in how little he needs to say to command respect. And the men who get this, who understand that wealth is felt before it's spoken, build relationships rooted in polarity, not performance, in dominance, not disclosure. You want to know the mindset of the man she can't manipulate. He makes moves in silence, builds in private, gives when he chooses to, not when she expects him to, and he never hands over the blueprint to his kingdom because he knows that mystery isn't weakness. It's the highest form of masculine power. Number 4. Never talk about other women who hurt you. You think telling her about the woman who cheated on you will win her sympathy, but it won't. It will win her dominance over you, and you'll never see it coming because it feels like connection at first, like she's really listening, like she really cares. But what's actually happening is far more primal and far more dangerous. She's calculating your emotional weakness, measuring your emotional baggage, and silently placing you in a category. The man who got played, the man who got abandoned, the man who carries ghosts he never buried. You think you're being deep. You think you're being emotionally mature. You think you're showing her that you're not like other guys because you can open up about your trauma. But what you're actually doing is telling her you've been broken by another woman, and nothing kills desire faster than the image of a man emotionally beaten by someone like her. She might smile, she might ask more, but deep down, the emotional polarity between you and her starts to shift, because now you're not the masculine leader she wants to lean on. Now you're a wounded soul who needs reassurance, validation, and emotional patchwork. And whether she knows it consciously or not, she will begin to feel like your therapist, not your lover. And once that dynamic sets in, attraction suffocates in silence. And don't get it twisted. Women are incredibly intuitive. You say, "My ex really messed me up." And what she hears is, "I'm still healing. I'm still weak. I haven't moved on." And she files that information away, not to console you, but to control the frame later. She'll use it as leverage in arguments. She'll reference it in passive-aggressive comments. And if you ever begin to level up and step into your power, she'll drag it back up to keep you grounded in your old identity. This is the part most men don't want to hear. She's not obligated to care about your past pain. She's not your savior. She's not going to love you harder because you've been through hell. She's going to judge, quietly, subconsciously, instinctively. And it's not because she's cruel. It's because women do not want to build castles on emotional ruins. And it's your job to understand that. It's your responsibility to rebuild yourself so that when you stand in front of a new woman, you're not dragging the blood-soaked memories of the last one into her arms. Your past pain is yours to process, not hers to carry. And here's the red pill truth. The more you talk about how she cheated, how she ghosted you, how she left when you needed her most, the more you shrink in her eyes, the more you become the man defined by what was done to him, instead of who he became after it. Real men take betrayal and use it like steel in the forge. They build, they rise, they harden, not into cynicism, but into clarity. The woman you're with now, or the one you'll attract in the future, doesn't want to know the details of how another woman destroyed you. She wants to feel the strength you gained by rebuilding your empire without announcing every brick. That's what commands her submission, her respect, her admiration. So no, you don't sit across from her and spill your story of heartbreak over candlelight, hoping she'll love you more for surviving it. You stare into her with calm eyes and say nothing, because your scars are yours, and they are sacred, and they are a part of a battle she will never have the honor of witnessing. You want to truly transform from being hurt to being powerful. Then stop bleeding in front of women who didn't earn the right to see your wounds. Stop rehashing old stories hoping for closure through validation. Stop lowering your frame for feminine approval. Heal in silence, level up in darkness, and rise in such quiet, ruthless excellence that your past no longer deserves a seat at your future. That is masculine mastery. That is how you reclaim your dignity, your attraction, and your throne. Number 5. Stop explaining yourself. Every time you explain yourself, you dig a little deeper into a grave labeled weak. And most men don't even know they're doing it. They think they're being respectful, reasonable, fair, even mature. But what they're really doing is justifying their own authority to a woman who didn't earn the position to question it in the first place. And that's where it all starts to unravel, because explanation in the masculine realm is not communication. It's negotiation with your own value. It's a desperate plea for validation disguised as logic. And once you open that door, you lose control of the frame, of the energy, of the leadership. And she stops feeling like she's in the presence of a man and starts feeling like she's in control of one. You say something, she questions it, and instead of standing firm, you begin a TED talk about why you said it, why you did it, why you thought it was right, and you think you're clearing the air, but all you're doing is stripping yourself of your power in real time. You don't owe her a speech. You don't owe her an essay. You owe yourself the discipline to stand by your word without backpedaling into over-explaining hell. Because when a man starts justifying everything, from what he posted to who he texted to why he's chasing his dream instead of spending the weekend at brunch with her friends, what he's really doing is asking for permission to exist as he is. And once she smells that, once she senses that you're trying to please instead of lead, that you fear her disapproval more than you trust your direction, her instincts flip like a switch. And what once was desire turns into silent contempt, because no woman wants to be with a man she can emotionally manage like an intern explaining why he was late. You want her to feel safe. Stop talking and make a decision. You want her to feel desire? Be unshakable in your stance, even if she doesn't like it. Because here's the truth most men can't stomach. Women test your boundaries not because they want you to change, but because they want to feel that you won't. And the minute you start explaining, defending, breaking down every reason for your behavior, she starts seeing you not as a man, but as a little boy trying to avoid punishment. And listen, this doesn't mean you become cold, robotic, or emotionally unavailable. This means you learn the power of silence, the weight of composure, the strength of stillness. A man in full control doesn't need to explain. He just acts. He moves. He leads. His life is a mission, not a debate. He values clarity over consensus, and he understands that his woman is either on board with that mission or she can step off. You think she'll leave if you stop explaining? Maybe. But that's the point. Let her. Because if your identity is built on constant clarification, on trying to soften every edge so she feels more comfortable, you're not in a relationship. You're in emotional hostage negotiations. And you're the hostage. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to not give a reason. You're allowed to make decisions and move in silence. Not every choice needs a paragraph. Not every stance needs a footnote. Your tone, your presence, your certainty, that's what holds the room. That's what commands her loyalty. That's what separates the men she dates temporarily from the man she respects eternally. You want to reclaim your power, learn the art of saying less, make decisions, live by them, lead with them. And when she asks, why? Just look at her with calm, unwavering energy and say, because I said so. Then walk away. Not to be rude, but to be respected. Because when your words are rare, your value multiplies. And when your decisions come without apology, your life begins to align with your highest version. No more explaining, no more asking for permission, no more trading clarity for compromise. You are the authority of your life. Start acting like it. If you're still watching, it means something inside you knows. It's not just about attraction. It's about reclaiming the power you've been bleeding in silence for years. No more begging for respect. No more explaining your worth. No more living at the mercy of emotions you don't understand. If you're ready to become the man women respect, not manipulate, then the Stoic relationship blueprint is your first step. And it's linked right now in the comments. It's the brutal truth you were never taught, the knowledge that will stay with you for life, downloaded, reread, and rearmed every time you feel yourself slipping. Like this video, subscribe, and if you're ready to stop playing defense with your masculinity, comment no more leaks. Let's help more men find this before they lose years to lies, to weakness, to regret. This is the moment you choose strength.